Hi there, friend. I'm Marve Iconist from Lead Life Well. And in working with leaders, professionals, and entrepreneurs, one of the things that often comes up is that funky feeling you get when you've kind of stepped beyond what you believe your capacity to be. And we often refer to that feeling as imposter syndrome. And it feels like we're pretending to be someone or something that we actually aren't. And in reality, there's a big passion behind what it is you're trying to do, a big desire. You may even feel like you're called to do something. And then when the rubber hits the road and you're about to do it, you kind of panic and feel like, oh no, I'm not ready. I'm not a bunch of different things. And we refer to that as imposter syndrome. And it's a very common feeling that I bet you'd really like to break free. You know, it kind of feels like you're stepping into some shoes that are just way too big for you. And so the tendency is to just take the shoes off and give up. But I want to challenge you that really dealing with imposter syndrome is not about stepping into the shoes and feeling the funky feeling. It's about feeling that funky feeling and beginning to walk in those shoes, even when they feel a little bit too big. And as you do that, somehow the shoes shrink and your feet grow and it gets more comfortable. Now, you may be thinking, you know what? I don't really deal with imposter syndrome, so this isn't for me. But I want to share with you a couple of ways that imposter syndrome shows up that maybe you aren't thinking about it in those terms. And one of those ways is just undervaluing yourself and what you bring to the table. That can be a way for imposter syndrome to take root. Another way is kind of, I'm not like the others that do the thing you're trying to do. Great. You know what? God made you a unique way, and how you go about things may be different. So like feeling like you don't belong with everyone else, or that you're comparing yourself to everyone else, is a sign that you may have a little imposter syndrome at work. Another way that imposter syndrome plays out is trying to be the expert. So you kind of measure your success by how much you know. So the tendency is to want to know more and more and more. And it's just never ending. You will never be the expert, and just kind of accepting your limits, but going forward and doing what you're doing anyway, maybe a little imposter syndrome at work. Another way of imposter syndrome checking in is the person who feels like they just don't need any help. You got this. I'm independent. I should be able to figure it all out. But in reality, we all benefit from the input of others, the help of others, and it actually takes great strength to ask for that help. Maybe you are somebody who things have come really easy to you, and so now that something's a little challenging, ooh, that is really sending up some of those funky feelings. To be honest, I've had that experience. I did really well in high school with very little effort, and got to college and realized, oh my goodness, this is hard. And so maybe you've bumped up into something similar to that, and you're kind of like, oh, maybe I'm not what I thought I was. Another way I see imposter syndrome playing out without people really realizing it is just the striving of just overworking and perpetually doing, and not really having any hobbies or taking care of themselves. That workaholic mentality can actually be an imposter thing, a way of trying to prove that you are what people think you are. And then finally, the perfectionist. You know, perfectionists set really high goals. I know, because I've been one. And then when you don't reach those perfect, because that's impossible goals, then you experience a lot of self-doubt. And that too can be another brand of that same thing, that imposter syndrome. Well, I want to invite you to join me for Break Free from Imposter Syndrome on April 30th. It is a chance to kind of dig into the topic, learn from yourself, learn from me, learn from others, and to really digest that issue that comes up if you're attempting to do something big. Hey, if you'd like to be a part of that sessions, click on the link below. And if you happen to watch this video after the fact, I've got some goodies down there for you as well. And it's just a chance for you to dismantle that imposter syndrome that comes up from time to time, or perhaps it's lingering around long past the time it was welcome. Either way, I would love for you to like this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. It'd be great to have you a part of the Lead Life Well community. Have a fantastic day.